Well, good morning after. Time for some of you to maybe take the morning after pill today. As the numbers show, some of those seeking public office did not survive the primaries, and they will not be on the ticket in November in the general election.
How about those
How about that? Yeah.
apples?
Before we get too far into the thick of things, I want to thank all of those who at least had more guts than the rest, stepping up to the plate when they didn't. The whole process, as far as I've been led to believe, was a respectful one, not an election filled with hate and irritation from the candidates, some from the people in the peanut gallery, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
A few residents did start a negative campaign after the recent property reevaluation was made public. Several clowns that are not close to being the sharpest knives in the drawer
Ooh.
began blasting current county commissioners, fear mongering with claims that the increase in the values of our homes, number one, is the fault of the commissioners, and called for voters to vote out those commissioners seeking reelection. We'll dig into the property taxes a bit as we go along, too. I learned a few things yesterday that I will share this morning that might settle the stomachs of rational folks around here. The others, ain't no hope for them. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
And good morning. I'm Lee Barrows. And wow, what a night last night.
It was a night. Not a whole lot of real, honest to goodness surprises.
So for me, there was a lot statewide because, I know a lot of people run statewide and a few upsets last night.
Yeah.
Not in Onslow County, but some other counties. I was like,
wow.
wow.
Let's just go looking straight at the numbers here on the local scene to begin with. I don't know that there were any major surprises here.
No. Mm-mm.
There were 3 seats up for grabs on both the Board of Commissioners and the Board of Education. In the commission race, 2 incumbents, Republicans Tim Foster and Royce Bennett, and newcomer Whitney Cantrell, also a Republican, won the chance to go up against Democrats Rebecca Cooper and Michael Leandre in November. The primary results, Foster led the pack, 4,926 votes. Bennett was second, 4,767. And Cantrell, our little girl Whitney, was third with 4,365, enough to secure her an opportunity to run in the general election. Very close behind Cantrell.
Very close.
Former board member Walter Scott, 4,231. And another close challenger was Elliot Jarman, 4,220. Showing just how much every vote counts. Now, then we're going to talk about that shortly.
Yes, we are.
Whitney Cantrell slightly ahead of Walter Scott by only 134 votes. For the school board, the top 3 were incumbents Angie Todd, 5,119, and Bill Lanier with 4,489. And in third was Doug Davis with 3,653. Since no Democrats filed to run in the Board of Education race, the top 3 Republicans will run uncontested in November. In other words, they won by default. Default of the Democrats, because the Democrats didn't put anybody up. Onslow County Sheriff Chris Thomas, absolutely no surprise. He had no opposition. That was not a surprise.
Yeah, he was not even on the ballot.
From a Republican in the primary and no Democrat opposition in November. Our friend will serve at least another 4 years. The big race in North Carolina is going to be the U.S. Senate seat. Senator Tom Tillis chose not to seek a third 6-year term, which has tossed that seat into the fires of Hades. Getting through the first is Republican contender Michael Whatley. In Onslow County, he easily walked away with the numbers and did well across the state, comparing Republican to Republican, 363,267 across the state. Now is when the real fight begins, though. Roy Cooper, the state's 2-term governor and 2-term attorney general, well, he began campaigning for the Senate seat well before the Tillis announced that he was not going to run again. because he was going to run against Tillis. And that was a given. Cooper has spent a considerable period of time raising Fort Knox-size amounts for his campaign. This is a highly sought-after seat for the Democrats across the country, and Cooper is their great white hope. He came in with 624,496 votes, and again, he was the top dog on the Democrat side. Whatley was the top dog on the Republican side. He had slightly more than half of the total number of votes that Cooper got. Of course, both of those races, that race is party affiliates voting for their party. We're going to have to closely follow this one through November because this is going to be the race to watch, and probably in a lot of national coverage on this one as well.
Yeah, it's going to be the most expensive race in the nation.
Here's the thing in this Senate race. Democrats came out in droves. Let's do this
They
again.
did.
Democrats came out in droves. Only Democrats and left-leaning unaffiliated voters could actually vote for Cooper, right?
Right.
That's it. 625,000 did just that. For Whatley, only Republicans and conservative-leaning unaffiliated voters could vote for him. 363,000 did.
Yeah. Half.
The sheer numbers of North Carolinians that voted for Cooper over Whatley is compelling and very telling. Cooper has 100% of the big Democrat money in his corner. They want him. The Democrats want this most important Senate seat, and it is one of the easiest ones for them to get across the nation this year. So they're going all out. Whatley has Donald Trump's support. We see that all the time. Here's a question that we should be pondering. Does Trump have enough clout to overcome what some will see as a serious deficit, given the lopsided numbers that turned out for Cooper? I do believe the Democrats actually came to the polls to support Cooper, period. He was the one draw. He brought them out of everywhere. Easy to say, even here in Onslow County, because he got a respectful number of people turned out in Onslow County, and I didn't know we had that many Democrats. It's interesting.
Democrats came out this time.
Democrats came out and they dusted off their voter IDs and they came out and they voted.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to see that in the Democrat-leaning counties across the state, you would expect that. But even in Republican strongholds, he's shown very well. In the 3rd Congressional District, no surprise that Dr. Greg Murphy walked away with the Republican nomination. He has some opposition in November, but no one really gives a Democrat much chance in the district. To the east, where retiring Carteret County Sheriff Asa Buck, a Republican, threw his hat into the newly redrawn 1st Congressional District ring of fire. A popular sheriff, Mr. Buck, or Sheriff Buck, he still is. How did he fare against the favored person for whatever reason?
Well, he did well, but Lori Buckout ended up with 39.52% of the vote. Asa had 34.45%.
And the rest was split amongst the other two in the race.
3,200 votes more. Lori won by, and I knew that was going to be an extremely tight race. Now, in the counties here in the southeast, like Carteret, Onslow, Asa had a strong.
One small part of Onslow County was in the 1st district.
That's true, but anyway, he
came in strong there.
He came in strong in these southeastern counties there. Where Lori did better was further up the coast, but we knew that was going to be an extremely tight race.
Yeah. I'm sure it's going to hold, but we'd have to wait for all of the votes to be officially counted and canvassed and all of the challenge votes or whatever it is. What do they call those things?
Provisional. Yeah, I made a note on when I posted our results last night that these are the results, but they still have to be certified, as in any election.
And
And
we've got some close races, and we had like one in the county commissioner race. We got a third spot there.
that's right.
Is still not solid until all the provisional ballots are
Right.
sorted
I,
and approved.
I don't think there'll be enough for that person to
I don't
gain
think so,
a
but
seat.
I don't know. Don't know.
Statewide, let's talk about statewide. You want to talk about Phil Berger, the head of the Senate, the most powerful man in the North Carolina
Name you can soon
legislature,
forget.
from Rockingham County, was beat out by longtime Sheriff Sam Page from Rockingham County, but by only 2 votes. But that tells you a lot right there. Of course, they'll have to do the provisional, the recounts, blah, 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 and it may not hold, but wow, Sam Page came through on that one.
Now, and for the U.S. Congress, there are just in Onslow County, which I'm kind of looking at Onslow County. There are most of Onslow County is in the 3rd congressional district.
Correct.
This newly reformed
Yes.
1st district
Yes.
does encompass just a little bit of Onslow County, a sliver down east, down there in the Swansboro area. Total of 5,728 people in Onslow County voted for the candidates in both districts. 5,700 turned out to vote for the candidates in both districts. You would have thought that everybody who turned out would have voted in the congressional race. Apparently, they did not. Same thing in the U.S. Senate race. It's weird. There were 14,282 votes cast in the U.S. Senate race for all of the candidates, including the two, the Democrats and the Republicans. 534 people. I mean, this is a top dog race, right? 534 people of the miserable number of people who showed up did not vote for any U.S. Senate candidate. I'm trying to get my head around that one. I mean, it's the most talked about race in the country today,
Right.
and 534 did not vote for anyone.
Well,
now there are 129,537 registered voters in Onslow County. 14,816 turned out.
that's 11%. And I have always
11.44% failed to vote.
Yes.
Failed to vote. 114,721. That's the size of a lot of counties.
I was able to go all the way back to 2014, and in 2026 is the worst primary turnout that we have had.
So what's the reason for it, guys? Are you just like happy with the status quo? There is no status quo because there were seats that are open.
Yeah.
I mean, like the U.S. Senate seat, there's a
Right.
seat that's open, wide open. Nobody is running for re-election in that seat. The county commission race, 2 of the 3 seats, okay, they're already filled, but they had to run for re-election. If you were
Right.
as unhappy as people have indicated they were, well, that didn't seem to have much of an impact on that race.
So
Board of
we're-
Education, no, nothing particular there.
Yeah, it's the worst turnout that we've had in a very long time. And I went back to all the midterms and presidential election years since 2014, and it was very dismal.
Yeah.
What happened in Onslow County? What happened?
Now, here's the one thing that I'm sorry, I don't know who's the leadership of the Republican Party. They're always touting that they've got to do this, got to do that, but I'm sorry. There were 5,694 people in Onslow County who voted for the U.S. Senate candidate Michael Watley.
Right.
There were 4,925 Democrats who voted for Roy Cooper.
Right.
Now, they're all not Republicans who voted for
Either party.
For the
Either
party,
person,
or
right.
I'm sure I'd like to know how many. I'd like to know what I don't think we can really find out how many unaffiliated, how they cast their ballots, because it's not known, right?
Right.
Well, I guess I don't know whether that's private or not. It's to find out how many of them requested a Democrat ballot or a Republican ballot. I'd like to know that. I don't know whether that's public. I haven't checked. But that is miserable. That is just miserable.
Sad. I'm very disappointed in the voter turnout in Onslow County. I don't know what happened. I don't know if people just weren't enticed to come out and vote. I don't know. But and like I said, I went back to 2014. It's the worst year we've had.
So obviously the malarkey on socialist media calling to vote out certain people did not have any impact. It may have, the only impact it probably had, people were so freaking disgusted with you people who were putting out this garbage that they didn't want to show up to do anything.
Could be, you know.
It's pretty irritating.
And I will say for the incumbents that got back in again, that I will say that they didn't retaliate. They didn't get on social media. They didn't argue. They didn't call out people. They just stayed quiet and went out and did their thing. And I like that. There was no surprise for me on the Onslow County Board of Commissioners. No surprise in that race whatsoever. In fact, we called it. Us sitting right here at this table, we all agreed and called on what we thought it would end up being. The Board of Education was a little different. I know I was surprised on it. Well, not really surprised, but I just felt like some of those candidates would have done a lot better vote-wise than what they did do.
Mhm.
And so it wasn't really a big surprise for the Board of Education. I missed it by one, but yeah, interesting. And I will say also, we didn't mention that Carson Smith, who's a representative for a portion of Onslow County, won his reelection. He's a Republican and won his reelection.
That's state race.
North Carolina
State
House.
yeah.
Right. But I did want to mention that
Mhm.
because he was running against Joshua Patty last night. But in Onslow, Carson took 68% of the vote. So.
Well, there's one guy who was running for office for a seat on the Johnston County Board of Commissioners. That's up there near Four Oaks.
Right.
Last week, on the 27th of the month, 55-year-old Chad Minson Stewart, he got arrested.
Yes.
Charges that the day before he ran into a stopped school bus, then he drove away.
Yes, I had that story yesterday.
Police tracked him down, took him into custody, then placed him in jail the next day. His bond was set at $20,000. Stewart managed to bond himself out and is going to appear in court on April 10th. According to his campaign materials, Stewart had served as a county commissioner from 2013 to 2021. Well, goodness gracious!
What county was that from?
Johnston. I got the results right here.
Okay, good, very good.
Oh yeah, I just had to go back and look at all that.
Had a good look.
On the ballot, they had one opening on the county commission. There were three people, three Republicans running. Adam Caldwell, Mike Rose, and then this aforementioned Mr. Chad Stewart.
And
the top vote was Mr. Caldwell with 8,463. The second one in there was Mike Rose with 6,519.
My.
Now, 8,000 and then 6,000, right? And coming in at a distant third was Mr. Stewart, 2,531. Mr. Stewart, the handwriting is on the wall, sir. I don't know why you drove away after you ran into the bus. First of all, I have a suspicion, but because they didn't find him to get up with him until the following day, so that gave him time. And he said, "I'm sorry,
maybe campaign partying."
Prior to whatever, I don't know.
Right.
School bus. You run into a school bus, then you drive away from the scene. So are you weighing your options at that point in time? Well, let me tell you what your options are. There could be jail time in this one. Nobody was hurt on the bus, thank God. But when you start running into school buses and then
taking off,
you leave.
I saw that the other day, and I was going to talk about it yesterday.
Not a good sign. So, Mr. Stewart,
sorry.
If you're not guilty, good luck on that. If you're guilty, then Pack your toothbrush, buddy. You don't want theirs.
Well, you talk about that in the U.S. Senate race, for North Carolina. Of course, Michael Whatley won the Republican nomination, but they had one name on the ballot, Margot Dupre, who was found to be ineligible to run, but the Board of Elections said, but we're keeping her name on the ballot.
Well, because it was already there. They had,
but listen, she still got 14,817 votes.
That's 14,000 votes just
that could have gone to somebody else.
Yep.
So Don Brown, who came in on our show a couple of weeks ago, he ended up with almost 16% of the vote. Whatley was 65%. So he was the only one he was second, of course, but he didn't even come close to Michael Whatley.
Not kin to me, of course, but he's a nice guy. He came in, had some good assets,
super nice guy. Yes,
had it all going for him. If Whatley is to beat Cooper, he's going to have to come up with a very definitive platform that he has not put forth as yet.
Well, I've got some other surprises close by us. Carteret County, Steve Overby ran a county commissioner race and beat out the incumbent whose seat was up. And he won.
Okay, so the incumbent was running for re-election.
That's right, okay. And he beat him out. And in the mayor race, which they put back on the ballot for this primary because there was
hanky-panky.
There was a tie. Well, it was Lee Stiles had originally won the race by one vote. The mayor at the time, Jerry Jones, was saying, there was people turned away from the polls that weren't allowed to vote. They went to the State Board of Elections for a hearing, and the State Board said, we're just going to put you into the primary, run again. And Lee Stiles, he swept the floor. So Lee Stiles is the new mayor, Morehead City.
Okay.
He swept the floor with the incumbent mayor.
Taking a look-see towards the deep blue waters of the hot Atlantic. Offshore today, westerly winds around 5 knots, becoming southwesterly this afternoon. Seas 3 to 5 feet every 9 seconds, except 2 to 4 near shore. Sounds and rivers flat, increasing to a light chop this afternoon. Patchy fog. Visibility 1 nautical mile or less this morning. Now, out there right now, the fog is lifting over the land area because it was fogged in heavy here this morning. But over the ocean, it takes a little bit longer near the water for the fog to dissipate. With the warmth of the sun coming up, when it gets up, it will burn off. But if you're going out, be extra careful going out this morning. If you're going downriver, for instance, and headed towards the inlet and running 30, 40, 50 miles an hour down that river, you got to dodge crab pots, no doubt about that. Then you're going to have to dodge boats, no doubt about that. So be careful out there, okay? Tomorrow, southwesterly winds 5 to 10 knots, seas 3 to 5, 2 to 3 near shore. Sounds and rivers a light chop. Friday, southwesterly winds 5 to 10 knots, seas 2 to 4. Sounds and rivers a light chop.
And today we have widespread dense fog this morning. It should dissipate before 8 a.m., which is already clearing up now. Otherwise, it's going to be a mostly sunny day with a high near 75. Calm wind becoming southwest 5 to 8 miles per hour in the afternoon. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 56. Thursday, partly sunny with a high near 78. Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 79. And Saturday, another beautiful sunny day with a high near 79.
How many actual early days of voting were there? The number of days, do you know?
Oh, God, there was 2 days less than what we generally did. So 5. I can't tell you exactly. I'd have to go back and look at the calendar. And which didn't make a difference.
Well, we had 6 days last week.
That's right, because we went Saturday, and then the other 2 weeks was...
Then we had 2 days the first week, so that's 8.
Right, and then
the other week we had 5 days.
Yes.
So that would be 13 days, right?
Correct.
13 days. 13 days. And how many...
waste of money.
How many votes were cast in those 13 days? You had the total.
About 6,400.
6,000 votes.
6,300 something.
In how many days did I say? 13 days?
Yes.
6,400.
Yes.
Oh. Wow.
Which is a huge waste of money. I think we need to go back.
This whole election's a waste of money. We had we had to have enough ballots printed. I don't know what the printing costs are, but they're not cheap. We had to have enough ballots printed for 129,537 registered voters here in Onslow County.
Mm-hmm.
We had to have that many ballots because, I mean, you can't just stop and print some off as you go along, right?
Right.
Maybe that's what we should be doing.
Well,
Print them off, print as needed, or bring your own. It is on the election page, Board of Elections page. Print your own, bring it in. It has to be certified when you bring it in, and then you can use it to cast your votes with.
that would be a nightmare.
It's a nightmare now.
It's a nightmare.
129,537 registered voters, a grand total, including the early voters. 14,816 voted. 11.44 miserable percents of Onslow County voters turned out.
Miserable year.
New Hanover County, the smallest county in North Carolina.
Yes.
Almost 22% turned out. We had 11.44%. They double us. Percentage-wise. They got 180,000 registered voters, but they double us.
In 2024, we had 18.38%
Still
Onslow
miserable,
County
but
turnout.
not as bad.
2022, 15.85. 2020, which was my year, 23.13.
Well, somebody did something right. So
right.
where's the problem here?
2018, 12.38. 2016, 27.35. 2014,
I want to
17.06.
jot down the numbers here one more time so I can reference these as I go along all morning long and tomorrow and next day. How many registered Democrats are there?
Registered Democrats.
Yeah,
All right, let me go back over here. Oh, I have it right here, down here below.
Yep, in Onslow County.
The registered Democrats was 21,500. This is as of March 3rd.
Okay, that's Democrats.
Correct.
21,500 and Republicans.
50,845. Republican
What?
Party's taking a hit in Onslow.
What?
Yeah, 50,845.
That's more than double the number of Democrats.
Yes.
Unaffiliated.
57,192.
So in reality, of all of those who voted in the Republican part of this primary, they could have all been unaffiliated, casting votes as Republicans, right?
That's right. Could be.
I'm going to tell you, either way.
I don't think so.
Well, I know not because you voted, but we do not know.
Right.
There are 50,000 Republicans and 8,752 Republicans, or those who requested a Republican ballot, the unaffiliated, 8,752 total. So there were fewer Republicans than 8,752. Would you concede to that?
Right.
Okay, because a big chunk of that 8,752 going to be unaffiliated. So there are 50,000 registered Republicans. You guys have a leadership problem. You have a problem. You can't get your mess together.
Ooh.
Somehow or another. There is a problem in the Republican Party in Onslow County. Are you fighting amongst yourselves so much that you can't get together? You're going to lose. Onslow County will go Democrat before it's over with. They're going back to the early 1970s.
No, that's not going to happen. I will tell you this
way. In 1976, when I moved to New Hanover County, it was a Republican county. It's now, you can't find as many Republicans there as you can find in Democrats in Onslow County. You think Democrats, it's going to change.
I will tell you now, there is a little bit of a discrepancy I noticed last night when I was pulling issues. I told you as of March 3rd, and this was also prior, it showed that the number of registered voters we had in Onslow County was 131,266. But yet, if you go back to the results for Onslow County, according to the North Carolina State Board of Elections, it said we had 129,537 eligible voters.
That is very small percentage.
Yes, very small, but just in case anybody's going like, your numbers don't match, that's why. That's why.
I'm using the BOEs, the Board of Elections numbers.
Yes.
And as of yesterday.
Well, so am I. I got both these numbers from the Board of Elections.
How many got booted because they had not voted in several years? Because they've been purging some of the.
Well, there's unlike the 129,000 that they're showing right now eligible. It could be that they've not yet taken in because, you have to be registered so many days before the election. So anyway, but another one that I know you probably don't know him. I know him personally, but another big upset in the North Carolina House was for District 79. Do you remember me talking a couple months ago about Jimmy Dixon and Keith Kidwell, both North Carolina House representatives, and they got into a big argument because Keith accused Jimmy. Jimmy said, I'm going to have you primaried and I'm going to make sure that you get voted out. Well, Keith got voted out
Don't
last
mess
night.
with Jimmy.
He's been North Carolina House of Representatives since 2019 when they created that district on a redrawn map and got voted out by a newcomer, a farmer. So I was like, whoa, when I saw that last night.
Kidwell's out.
Kidwell's out.
Okay. Okay, Nikki, we're waiting for a call from our very lovely Dr. Rosemary Stein. She should be checking in with us, and maybe I should check telephone lines. There goes line number 2 is working just fine. So we shall see. Line number 1 may as well. It's working just fine as well. So anyway, we're waiting call.
There she is right there.
Speaking of which,
boy, you ghosted her up.
I waved my magic hands over the telephones and the phone rang. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I hope all of you are all right.
We're doing great. Thank you.
I need some pills.
A little tired from being up so late.
Why were you up so late?
Oh, election night. I had to stay up and watch.
If I describe some symptoms, could you prescribe me some pills over the phone? I mean, they do it in Canada all the time, right?
Rayford.
What?
Yeah, but I'm not an adult doctor, and you might be a year or two older than my limit.
Well, I've been told I act childish. Does that count?
Oh, my gosh.
No, unfortunately not.
Well, shoot. Anyway, well, I'm just kind of sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I'm being sick and tired of being looking at these election results, and like what things irritate. I went to my primary care this week, right? And they got a new form because I hadn't been to see her this calendar year, and I have to fill out this form once a year. I guess you have to do the same thing. Are you feeling depressed? What makes you feel depressed? Yada, yada, yada. All of this stuff makes me feel depressed when I get through filling it out. Is that a real thing?
Oh, that's a really complicated question. That's the reason most of us are doing that to protect ourselves. But after COVID, we were left with a much higher percentage of depression and suicidal ideation, but specifically in older folks and in adolescents. So it became our duty to screen the patients as they came in, which it is tedious. It really is. But we have been able to identify a lot of kids that we didn't think had problems, and then they answer honestly. Part of the thing is that you can be as depressed as heck, and check the boxes so that your provider isn't aware of it, because you might feel that it's none of their darn business, that you're just going to handle it, and you don't want somebody prying in your life. But that's neither here nor there. It's not a blood test, so you can't tell what's going on inside. You're just checking the boxes. But mostly, it's a new standard of care so that we can identify the folks out there that are really hurting and that need our extra attention.
You say the young people, they probably tell you the truth. Do you think, what kind of percentage do you think of the older people will tell you the truth?
I think if you want to be heard, you're going to check the boxes the way that your heart is telling you need to.
Okay.
But if you don't have any intentions of telling people that you're depressed and you might hurt yourself or somebody else, then you're not going to check that box. So I would say that it's almost like 50-50. But you can identify a few that have this moment of, I got to let somebody know. And this is the moment.
I can appreciate and understand, and I really do appreciate the work to identify and to assist individuals. I just wonder if how most of the folks, whether it would just irritate them to the point that, oh yeah, you just made me very depressed by me filling this thing out type thing. Or whether in reality, deep down, I mean, this is the way I grew up. This is the way my parents were. I'm sure they were depressed at one point in time. They were irritated, yada, yada, yada. And I don't want to be seen as a weakling and admit something like that. Do you think that might be some of the reasons people are not going to answer truthfully?
I think that the generation that were adults in the 70s. I mean, you had all the reasons to already be depressed. Jimmy Carter stuff. But you're right. I mean, you hardly ever heard about suicide among adults. I mean, it was there, but it was very, very rare. You hardly ever heard of major depression that would hospitalize you back then.
We dealt with it.
So they just dealt with it, and they understood that life is not all hunky-dory. I mean, there's divorce and cancer and all sorts of things that hopefully are transient and can get us down. But, it was our obligation to our family and our loved ones to keep going. And I think we've lost a little bit of that, of having our children understand that life isn't going to be fun and they're not all the perfect children. So that we don't want to depress them, but we want to equip them for life. But one important thing about those forums for all of the audience, if you go into your doctor's office and you're just there for a blood test, or you're there for something trivial, or to get, to talk about a mole, if you don't want to answer it, you just say, no, thank you, and you hand it back.
Oh.
It's as easy as that. I mean, it sounds like, here, fill this out. It's more like, would you kindly fill this out for us so that we can identify, any reason to have to talk to you or address something. We just forget to say it the way that it should be, but you are under no obligation. I mean, the front desk person might look at you funny because almost nobody does that.
Well,
you're not under no obligation to complete that. It's not like there's going to be a big X on your chart.
It's kind of like my earlier career. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. But the whole issue there is, do you want to talk to me now? Nope. Well, what does that make the cop think? Does he think I'm guilty? I mean, do people feel like if they don't fill this out and they say, hey, no, thank you. Does that make me look crazy? Does it make me look like I'm hiding something? Or, I mean, I don't know how you doctors would take it. I don't know how cops take it.
Well, you're not at a police station. So, once again, you have every right to just say, I don't have any concerns about my psychological health at this time.
Okay.
Well, if you answer
at
that,
the top of the sheet and turn it in.
If you answer that and don't answer any other questions, then you're more like, I don't want to fill this out.
Yeah,
Are they going to put you in the loony bin file?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Oh, so you didn't fill this out. Yeah, it didn't have anything to do with what I was here for.
Yeah, like, do you doctors?
I'm feeling all right, Doc.
Do you doctors have files like normal people files? Do you have some? Hey, these are the kooks out here. I got to be careful about them when they come in. Do you have a separate file for those people?
You got to remember, I deal with the parents.
Same thing,
and
worse,
the children
perhaps.
Children, so yeah.
Well,
it's like dealing with the mother of the bride when you're a wedding photographer.
Or working security at a dance recital. That's dangerous. That's dangerous work. I'll tell you what. I can tell you firsthand.
You've been to a beauty pageant?
Yeah. Well,
watch out for mama.
Might as well be the same. Standing at the door saying they're right in the middle of a dance. You can't go in right now. And
it's my child. Get out of the way.
I learned some very bad words in so many different languages. It was just unreal. I'm just like, okay.
Burn. Okay. Well, you got something
Yeah,
else?
I have something I wanted to ask you, Dr. Rose. It's and I know this does not apply to you, but healthcare. And when you go to visit your doctor and you have blood tests taken or whatever, is that the new thing that's going on now? If you want to know the results of your test, you go online and look up test results to see what your test, because that happened to me and I didn't know. And 9 months later, I happened to
She
find
was
out
pregnant.
I'm anemic. No,
Oh.
pregnant, anemic. And I'm like, what? And in my, on the website, well, I went in there because I said I owed $20. After 9 months, I get a bill for $20.27. I'm like, what?
27 cents was late
Yeah.
payment.
So I went in there to look because it said go to this link. And then I saw where it had my chart and test results. And on it said, you're anemic. You need to take iron. You need to take vitamin C and blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I'm glad this wasn't something that I needed to do or was going to die in 30 days. But is it the new thing now with a lot of medical offices?
It is. You all have my chart. Since I'm older, we just do it the old-fashioned way.
Well,
And
thank
we
you.
put all of the charts that any of the docs requested labs
Right.
for and in a pile, and we check them all.
Right.
And we call the parent, no
Now,
matter what. If
don't
they're
get me
good,
wrong.
We call them. Okay.
Yeah, I love my doctor. I really do. Love her. But I just feel like if this is the way, then that should be explained to you, whether it's by an office
Absolutely.
staff, the doctor, an assistant. Look, if you want their test, go on the website and you'll get instructions, whatever. And that I did not get. But
Well, yeah. So here they ask you the question before you left. Do you have any questions today? No? Okay, goodbye.
yeah.
That was their explanation. I'm kidding, but seriously, I've never been asked. I've never been told. I have not been to this so-called site portal, buy chart, whatever. I don't know how to get there.
Well,
Don't even want to know.
yeah,
Just tell me what I got.
right.
Yeah, well, I think it was supposed to be a way to facilitate things so that it's almost like it's a domain that belongs to you. And it's in there in the interwebs, and you can access it and say, okay, so what was my potassium? And you can go back and you can look at it instead of, the doctor forgot to mention that your potassium was low. But most people who aren't in the medical field are not going to know how to interpret that.
Exactly.
Which brings up
Yeah,
the point. Now that you bring this
and you
up,
might drive yourself nuts because it says that it's abnormal and it's just computerized.
I had to have a friend of mine. He went in there and looked at my cholesterol and explained it all to me because I'm like, is that good or bad?
you could go to the internet. They'll
Yeah.
tell you. AI would tell you everything you need to know.
Well, he's
Now, when you say my chart, my chart, my chart, my chart. It's my chart. It's my chart, right?
right.
Does that include every doctor that I go see? Is it on the same my chart?
No.
What?
Probably not. I wouldn't say every. I don't know the medical systems that you may be accessing. But if you have, like, let's say you have Novant or UNC or what's the one in Wilmington?
God knows who knows. Nugent or
That's
Novant.
a good one.
Novant.
Yeah, Novant is there a lot.
Right,
But the
Novant.
medical-
So
the
each
hospital
one of
system is different.
each one of these
Yeah.
groups has got his
And you
own
want-
my chart.
They have a my chart that can be accessed, but it's all through my chart. But they're not going to have a medical system that is only for the office. So they can interconnect.
Okay.
And so, yes, my chart is in all of the larger medical systems.
Well, here's the only thing that I can say about all of it. At my age, instead of learning that I've got 12 different charts out there that are all mine, and then I got to know which one to go to find out what is wrong with me, I'm just going to ask my individual doctors, hey, how am I looking here? Give me a result. You tell me what the results of your tests were. Now, if we had my chart, if we had a me, be mine, just mine, and every doctor would go into my chart and
Right.
put all of the details into my chart, then I could look at one chart and do that.
Well, it
What's
used
wrong
to-
with that?
Well, it used to be the doctor was also like a member of the local hospital that practiced there. The hospital could see what the doctor did, but everything has changed so much, and each medical establishment now decides which program they want to use. So it's all not the same.
That is true.
I think it's
I
a
think the
cognitive
safest
test.
way to answer the question
Right.
is if you had lab tests and you don't hear from your doctor your doctor or your doctor's office in 5 days, call them back.
I would have
Yes,
forgotten about it by
yes.
that time.
I did. I
Anytime
completely
somebody
forgot.
draws- anytime somebody draws some bodily fluid or whatever it is from
Ooh.
you,
Oof.
then go ahead and in 5 days, if you have not heard from them, call the office. And they'll say, well, you can look at it in my chart. Yes, but I'm asking for somebody to interpret it for me and give me give me a yes, everything's okay,
Yes.
or no, I have to fix something.
Well, it's good advice.
It's good
You
advice.
know.
Now, I got one thing.
What's that?
How would you deal with a patient? Let's just say you had Joseph Biden as your patient, as a doctor, and you tell him to go to my chart to get his information. Do you think
Jill would do
How do you
it.
think that will work out for you, Jill? You mean the neurological whatever she is?
She's a doctor.
Yeah, a book doctor. But how do you? Because those of us who use most doctors, than those of us who older, we don't want to deal with all that stuff. Just talk to us, right?
Yes, and you're right. We
Okay.
came from a different era. So
Yes.
that's probably why we didn't really transition. I'm sure that my patients have a my chart because they're going to the hospital to get their labs.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But since we didn't need that because we just spoke to the patient, I don't even think about it. You know, they have access. They can see it because they went to the lab. But we still call them. And I don't think it's just out of courtesy. It's just if I drew some bodily fluids from a patient, they have the right and I have the responsibility to know the results and to inform them of it and to have a plan of what we're going to do about it.
Well, I just figured I didn't hear anything, so I figured everything was okay. And yes, I was slack in pursuing it, but I would have thought that if I had a problem, that somebody would have called and said, check your chart or something. Just didn't know.
You would have. I would in the future, and this is a good lesson. And thank goodness it's something that's mild, correctable with iron.
Right.
But for all of you, anytime that a diagnostic test is done, if ask the doctors, do you guys routinely call? Yes or no? Okay. Yes. Good. Well, 5 days. Yeah. Okay. And if in 5 days you don't hear from them, you make sure between 5 and 7 days you call them back.
Good
I think
advice.
that's just a good way for something not to fall through the cracks. Because thank goodness it was something that is easily correctable 9 months later, and it was just almost a coincidence that you found it.
You could have given
Only
birth.
because I owed them.
You could have given birth.
More
Yeah.
dangerous. It could have been
Right,
the
right.
thyroid wasn't functioning well. It could have been a serious issue.
It very well
Right.
could have been. And thank you for the
Doctor,
advice.
thank you. We do appreciate your time.
You are the best.
Yeah. Now, and since I have been accused of being childish, I'm going to come see you. You can give me my exam.
You just
That,
want
all
that
right.
$4.
We'll just reverse those numbers, whatever they are.
And I want a lollipop when I leave.
71, you're now 17.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you, Doc.
Rose.
All right. You guys have a great
You
day.
too.
Bye. Okay. Speaking of politics.
Yes.
Oh, God. Politics.
We have
politics.
former chairman of the board,
Chairman of the
commissioners.
board, yeah, not Frank Sinatra.
No.
Of the Jacksonville County Board of Commissioners. Hey, Jack. How
Hey,
are you?
Jack.
Did we lose him?
Oh, he might have hung up when he
No.
heard Dr. Rose. Call back, Jack.
No, Jack, are you there? Hold on. Maybe I might have to
Right.
adjust some stuff. Start talking, Jack.
Yeah. And just real quick, talking about notifications in medical, Tracy from Texas says that Epic is a system-wide chart here for any doctor in the university health system, and they have all your visits, results, prescriptions, and you can pay bills as well.
It's in one system, the
Right,
university
right.
system.
Mhm,
Okay, and then
that's
how
in
about-
Texas.
yeah, and that's in Texas. I
Right.
don't live in Texas.
I know.
I don't even have any exes
you
in
know,
Texas.
But, I honestly feel like, Rayford, that if there was something wrong, that they would at least tell you in the doctor's office,
They might
look,
not know.
check your chart, go online and check your stuff in about a week. And if you have any questions, call. I was never told that. And I'm like you.
And I'm
I didn't
supposed to
think
remember
about
all
it.
of that.
I didn't think about it when
I barely remember to go to the doctor in the first place to get all this done. It's on the calendar, yada 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 yada. Now I got to do my own follow up.
Well, the thing about it is, I guess that's the new way now, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with it now that I know, but I do take some responsibility in not checking back. But I didn't think anything of it.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I just figured I was going to live another month.
Jack, I know you're there somewhere. Call us again. I don't know what's wrong with the phone. Line 2 was just not working. It was working earlier.
Right.
I don't know where it went.
Right.
So, Jack, maybe it was you couldn't hear us. That could be the thing. But I see us going out to you now, Jack. So call us 910-333-0139. We can place a call to him if you want to. 910-333-0139.
I'll just check this one.
Okay, dokie. Pots, pills, paraphernalias. That's what Kinston police said they seized when they stopped a car on Monday. 34-year-old Joseph Soto arrested on a variety of charges and was jailed without benefit of bond. They're getting pretty serious about that in some places. They're going to make them hang around until they at least have a bond hearing. The police report indicates Soto was charged with intent to sell and deliver a Schedule II controlled substance, possession with intent to sell and deliver a Schedule VI controlled substance, possession with intent to sell and deliver marijuana, felony maintaining a vehicle for keeping controlled substances, and simple possession of a Schedule II controlled substance. His criminal record turns up no drug convictions. But he does have some number of misdemeanor convictions for larceny, breaking and entering DWI, and consuming booze when he was a child. Is this Jack now?
Yes, Jack now.
Hey, Jack now.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Finally got you. How are you doing?
Doing great. I had a phone call about a few minutes ago, and talking with some folks about the election process, and I had heard earlier, we were trying to figure out why we had such a low turnout, but I don't know exactly, but the folks that I thought would have done really well, they did okay, but they didn't quite make the grade. I'm pleased with the commissioner's race with the incumbents and Whitney Cantrell. I think that was what I was hearing out here in the on the street about who was the best candidates. But I think I had a lot of calls, Rayford, about people just calling me and saying, when is the election? And it was people that were really educated, but they wasn't tuned in to, I don't know if they got distracted by the war in overseas, or if they got distracted by something else, but the school board race was really surprising because people just didn't do their research. If they had, the best candidates for that particular race didn't prevail. It was close, but I think the ones that ran they did a good job, but I don't think people were educated about who to vote for in that particular race.
I was disappointed in the turnout overall, and I can't not believe You say there were a lot of intelligent people that had no idea that it was an election time. Well,
Right.
as of last Saturday, the last day of running in the voting in the early uh, deals, that was Saturday at 3 o'clock. And at that point in time, after 14 or 15 days of voting, 14 or 15, that included parts of 3 weeks during February. And at that point in time, we only had 6,000 people to turn out. But since then, on the day of the election, where we have 129,000 voters here in Onslow County, we ended up with a total of 14,816 who actually voted. 14,816. Now, 6,000 of that voted early.
Right.
So on the day of the election, how much, Jack, do you remember that as a board chairman, I'm sure, of the Onslow County Board of Commissioners back in the day? Do you recall what the budget was for elections? How much an individual election would generally cost the citizens, you and me, and other taxpayers here in Onslow County? How much did an election cost?
Well, it was about $100,000 is what the election actually cost, and sometimes it was more than that if we had a runoff. In a primary or a general election, then that added to the cost of putting on an election. You have to have all the polls open. You have to rent some of the places had to be rented. Poll workers had to be paid. Even if we had 2 voters or 100,000, those poll workers had to be on duty and be paid. You couldn't discount it, and the ballots had to be printed. I do think that the ballots are printed now as I want to say they're printed as the voters come in now. I'm thinking they are, because we had gone to a system that did that. But another thing too, and I think I've talked to Lee about this. Maybe I've talked to you about it, Rayford, off the air. But in order to get information about candidates, you always went to the Board of Elections and pulled up their campaign filing forms and papers,
right,
and their finance campaign reports. And you could normally look at the campaign finance reports and tell what kind of support individual had based on their campaign contributions, and you could also tell about who was supporting some of these candidates financially or in kind, and a lot of that information was not made available until real late in the election process. So that may have been the reason that some people just didn't go, because they didn't know who to vote for. There wasn't enough information to do, interview or research on who the candidates were.
Yeah, they still don't have all the candidates on there.
Jack, do you have you did research? You said you did research. Did you research each and every one of the candidates running, or just the ones that you liked to begin with?
I did research on the ones that were running that I knew, and did all the research I could, trying to find out, where they lived, where they worked at, what kind of position they had. Some of those folks came to some of the school board meetings, and some of those people come to some of the county commissioners meetings and spoke. And some of those folks were, to me, were just radical, or they were real close to being sovereign citizens. And I don't think those type people should be in office.
Well, it's up to us, we the people, but you know what? It doesn't matter. Only 14,000 Onslow County residents turned out to vote. That comes out to be just under $7 per vote. $7 for every vote cast in Onslow County is what that $100,000 got us. $100,000, $7 per vote.
Sad.
And another issue was there is no viable media like the Daily News.
Nope.
The Daily News did do interviews and sent out questionnaires, but some of the candidates didn't even bother to respond to
Why
it.
would they?
And well, the daily news circulation now is so small that it would only contact just a few people.
Right, you're absolutely right, and it's not easy to go on there unless you pay for a subscription.
Now here's
read
the
anything.
social media thing. Here's where the stuff
Mhm.
comes into play here. The problem with the social media, from everything that y'all tell me, and the very few times that I go venture in there dealing with politics, it is nothing but negativity. There's
Right.
nothing about here are the list of the candidates.
Agree.
Here's the list of the candidates I'm voting for. Here's why. No, I don't care about you. You don't count in my brain. You understand? I don't care what Jack Bright thinks about these candidates. I don't know Jack Bright. Duh. I don't know these people on socialist media. Duh. If I did not know Jack Bright, I wouldn't care what you said, what you thought about him. I would care about these are the facts, Jack.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute.
Exactly.
Your name is Jack Bright, right? Let's do one of those. These are the facts, Jack, and let you put down just the facts. Every candidate for every race, here they are. The things that we could one time get on the Board of Elections site without having to jump through hoops. Click on
Exactly,
here or
yeah.
go to there. No, I don't have the time. Let me go to one site.
Exactly. There were so
Just
many
the
people
facts,
I've seen.
Jack.
I've seen so many people
Stop it.
at the county county
Right.
Facebook page when the revaluation came out.
Oh,
It was
hateful.
I was 110. The last count I had was 110 responses, and all of them were negative responses. And they said, "Let's vote the bums out that's in office. Let's vote them out."
Well, it didn't work out too good for them, did it?
Well, not in this case, but the thing of it is, the commissioners, when I was on the board and as a chairman, I didn't know what the values were going to be until they were actually already calculated by the tax department, and the figures were already being ready to be printed and sent out. When we didn't get a briefing on what the values were going to be, we had a general idea. Like they said, this time it would be roughly a 40% increase across the board on average, but that turned out to be a lot more than 40% on most of the folks I talked to.
I think 40% would have been the overall average. Now, here's the one thing you mentioned that when you were on the board, y'all had gone to all the internal in-house reevaluation. Plug the software in. You got the software, the same software that everybody apparently uses. Plug in the facts. I don't know who decides what the facts are. If I get to plug in the facts, according to me, I plug in whatever facts I come up with, and I can justify anything. But it depends upon what facts you plug in. Now, number two, that and the way it's done this time, got it from the horse's mouth yesterday, right? Yesterday was Tuesday, yeah. From the horse's mouth yesterday. Yes, the county did in-house on all of the private property that's owned. It was farmed out for all of the commercial property that's owned. Now, I don't know what the result is as far as increases between the county private property and the commercial property. I don't know what the difference is, how much each went up. Which did one go up significantly higher than the other? I don't know that yet, but we will find out. You can bet your bottom dollar on that one. And and the county commission chairman did go on record yesterday with me. No one, well, my wife was there, so I do have a witness. And that he said, if you think that we're not going to lower the property taxes,
Exactly.
the property tax rate, sorry, not the property taxes, you're nuts.
Yeah.
And I told him I was going to hold him accountable to that one.
He told me the same.
Well, that's a good position to be in and say. I think now we're waiting to see what if there's going to be any changes in the values or if there's going to be any changes in the tax rate itself.
Right.
And I'm sure it will be lower. But here's what I'm hearing. a friend of mine, I'm not going to mention the name, but a friend of mine owns a office building. It's a 2-story office building. The office building has a bottom floor and a top floor, same identical square footage. And the top floor, the one you would think that would be less valuable, would be less, but the top floor is way, way more than the bottom floor of the office.
That's
So,
odd.
That's what I'm saying, and I'm thinking, Rayford and Lee, I'm thinking there's something that's not quite right with the software program. It's the same street number address, but it's 2 separate addresses because it's 2 separate tax bills with Suite A and Suite B.
Chairman Foster pointed out that he had one, that there were 2 pieces of property, identical size, identical everything, in the same general neighborhood,
Right.
a mile apart, a half mile apart, whatever, and significantly different in the overall price. They looked the same on the outside. They look, they were, I don't think he called them cracker box houses or, one looking like one, just like all of them, Stepford Wives stuff. But they're same size, same everything. What else do you plug into those formulas? Curb appeal? I don't know.
Well, I have
the address.
I have a piece of property that is 1 acre, and it's actually a mobile home lot off the road, private easement that goes to it, no road front property. The neighbor wanted to expand his property, so because of the shape of the property, I could square mine up by selling him half of it. So I sold half of that property. And at that time, the county, this was last year, the county reassessed what I had left and sent me a new tax assessment last year that the county tax office did. And the partial that I had reassessed, it went up 110% from what they had just assessed it the year before.
Oh my!
So I know that there's got to be a software program, because the same tax office that assessed it last year assessed it one value, and now it doubled with the 2026 value, which was just a 2-year cycle. So that's why I'm saying there's got to be. And look, the commissioners have nothing to do with the values. That's the market
that's
drives
right.
that.
Nothing.
That drives that. But there's one. I know there's going to be a massive amount of appeals. But then another person that I talked to said, "Yeah, mine went up. My property went up $115,000." And on the bottom of that, if you look at the revaluation sheet notice, it says on the bottom you can appeal, and you can go to call the office, and you can do that. And I did on mine. I've got them to look at it, but it also says on there that the values may stay the same. It may go up, or it may go down. But some of the folks told me, said, we're not going to call them because we don't want ours to go up no more than what it is.
There's a reason a lot of people will just take, they don't call the IRS and say, you know what, we need to adjust this because they're afraid that the IRS may raise and there's some merit to that. The IRS has got to pay those inspectors something and they got to get it from somewhere. Where are they going to get it from if they don't charge you for it? They're going to find something.
That's like sending your steak back that's not cooked right. You don't know what those guys back and back.
Stop it.
Yeah, I'm not making the cook man. That's for sure.
They're temperamental anyway. But when you do something, it's kind of like the police officer pulls you over and you start arguing with him. No. What was going to be a warning for you need to get that traffic light or that stoplight, backup light fixed or whatever.
Wow.
and then suddenly you going to jail for something.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. Like this one guy said that he got stopped and the trooper asked him for his driver's license, and he heard that that the troopers had a good sense of humor, so he said, the trooper asked him for his driver's license. He said, "Yeah, I'll show you my license if you let me play with your gun."
That's not bad.
That
Then he said, Guilford County's got the best cornbread I ever ate in jail.
Well,
Wow.
Okay, that's
Well, just because Jack's on the phone, it made me think there is a county commissioner meeting this morning at 11 a.m.
God, traffic
You
control.
can watch it online or you can go in
Oh, no,
person.
go in person.
And I can't wait to hear this one.
I want to see that.
I'm watching this one. Oh, well, I watch them all, but I'm sitting right there.
No, I think you need to go down there firsthand. Stand up.
I should go dig up some dirt and take it down there to the agricultural department and then watch the commissioners at the same time.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
that would you kill two birds with one stone
Yeah,
by doing that.
I would.
Jack, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jack. Always a wealth of
take care.
knowledge.
All right, take care. Bye.
Take care.
Oh, my.
All right, we're going to do some weather, but I'm going to check
Weather.
first here and tell you about where our spotters were earlier this morning as we're
Okay.
going into the weather. Randy,
Fog.
yeah, it was. Everybody had fog this morning early. Randy in Southwest, he had 46 degrees at the time. I'm sure it's come up. 99% humidity. It was calm, foggy. Dale and Carol over there in River Bend at 46 degrees, 99% humidity. Humidity was way up everywhere. Calm, fog. Down in the borough, Joe was at 49 degrees. He was getting ready to drive on over to Moorhead with this group of people
Right.
for his Waffle Wednesdays. They go over there and meet a
Right.
group and have waffles. 49 degrees at the time. Had no rain and it was no precipitation, no snow, no nothing. 30.13 inches of mercury. Cedar Point, Ward was out there 53 degrees and pretty much the same thing. Had a light westerly wind, about 5 miles an hour, and 30.36 inches of mercury, and it was falling there. He's at Cedar Point. Ken over in Oslo Bay, my neighbor down the road here, 48 degrees, 91% humidity, fog and calm at the time.
Sourdough man.
You got it. Now East Malmouth in Massachusetts this morning,
Mhm.
31 degrees. 30.17 inches of mercury and was rising. Several of the stations
Wow.
reporting in this morning had snow on the ground still left over because the temperatures have not gotten really warm there. They're getting warmer, but that should go away soon. But some of them actually still reporting a little light snow flurries here and there. Lee in the Woodlands, she had 48 this morning, high humidity, 98%, and winds were, as reported, variable 2 to 4 miles per hour. 30.30 inches of mercury and 30. That's pretty good. Here at the studio in Country Club, it was 46 degrees. It's now 55 degrees. It's gone up 1 degree since we started talking a minute ago. And 99% humidity, which is still 99%. And had no rain, nothing recorded. The winds were running out of the west at about 1 to 2 now. The wind is calm. There is no wind that's blowing. We do anticipate a little bit of sunshine today, it looks like. 30.21 inches of mercury. That has been climbing since early this morning.
All right.
Okay, what you got?
Oh, what have I got? Okay, I had a listener asking us a question here
How about weather?
today. Oh, whether or not I want to give it.
Whether or not, whether you want to.
Today, mostly sunny with a high near 75. Calm wind becoming southwest 5 to 8 miles per hour this afternoon. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 56. Thursday, partly sunny with a high near 78. Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 79. And Saturday, another beautiful sunny day with a high near 79. And I want you to know
What?
with the weeds coming up now and that purple dead nettle that I had all over my yard.
Yeah.
And the fact that my property value has increased over $120,000.
Purple flowers you've got.
I felt like I needed to make my house look more presentable by going out and mowing the yard yesterday. And I
Well,
did.
if you do that, you're going to have the problem with that is your property values will go up again if you make it look really nice. The thing is, when they're coming around to assess your property, come up with the value, you need to make it really sloppy. Park some old used cars and turn them on their side or something like that. Make it look like a junkyard.
No, I don't want to do that, but I
You
have
have enough
time.
to get it assessed. Let them do reevaluation.
Well, I actually went out and mowed yesterday. I didn't weed eat or anything else. I just mowed the purple dead nettle.
I heard somebody on one of
terrible.
the networks last night or early this morning. I don't know if they all run
Yes.
together, talking about the purple flowers that he had in his yard. And he was
Yes.
going to mow them down.
That's it.
So
And the bad thing about it is once those flowers start blooming, they disperse seeds all over your yard. So they will spread year to year to year. And I went out and put weed and feed on it this year and it laughed at me. They laughed at me as they were
Did,
blooming. So
did it
I'll
hurt
have
your
to keep
feelings?
treating.
did it hurt your feelings?
Yeah, I just asked Tracy from Texas what the weather was in Texas right now, and she said it was 80s yesterday, 90 on Saturday. Hot.
Brunswick County. Brunswick County. I got 143,000 registered voters in Brunswick County. Brunswick County is mostly rural, right?
Yes.
Rural,
Well,
right?
the
Rural.
one block. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
got some pieces of property on the beaches. Most of that's rental stuff. But yesterday, of that 143,000 voters, registered voters, 31,000 turned out to vote. 31,000. How many did we have turn out to vote? Oh, did you say that? Did you remember how many? We had 14,816 to vote.
Sad.
They had 31,000. They had 21.58% of the people registered to vote turned out to vote in Brunswick County, a small county south of Wilmington.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed, Onslow County, if you can't tell yet. What is somebody is anybody out there able to analyze this with some degree of sensitivity and really understand what's going on? Because I don't know, and I do want to know. I want to quit complaining about Onslow County, but there's a problem here. Columbus County, another very rural county, they've only got 36,000 registered voters. They got 7,300 of them turned out. That's 20%. 19.89% of their voters turned out. 11.44% of Onslow County voters turned out. That was in Columbus County. Who we got?
Chris Blankenship.
Chris Blankenship.
That's Chris.
Oh, my
Hey.
What's up, Chris?
Hi.
Can you-
Oh, not much. I'm at work waiting to see a man about a horse. As I'm waiting on him to get here, and I was listening to y'all, and you're talking about the turnout on Polk County.
Yeah. Tell me.
You know,
Why?
I don't know, but I'm gonna blow my son's horn here for him. He just turned 18 late last year, and he got out to vote.
Good for him.
Excellent. Congratulations.
And he was, he was also smart enough to tell me that look, because he looks at the big races,
Yeah.
and he didn't know like some of them, like, because we were talking about it after he voted, and he was saying like, Judge, I didn't know these guys at all,
Right.
and I didn't, some of the local stuff like the county commissioners, like I hear people talk about them, but I didn't research any of this.
Okay.
And he said,
He's
I
got
didn't
time
know
to learn before the next one.
Yeah, but he
That's a
did.
good
But he did
start.
say that he didn't like if I didn't know real well, I didn't vote.
Just
Right.
smart move. I preach that all the time.
Yeah, but
Excellent.
I just want to say, it sounds like a poor turnout, but if you can't get your buddies or even young kids to say, hey, this is important, go out and vote.
Right.
We got a problem here.
Well,
I agree.
without him voting, we would have only had 14,815. So he made it
Sad.
14,816. Thank you to your son.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, I was just going to leave you with that, and I'll get off here and see if I can meet this guy.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
If watch out and make sure that horse is not a stolen horse. They hang horse thieves in a.
Oh yeah, make sure it's not a donkey.
Well, that might be, well, okay. Two-legged or four-legged. All right. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks,
All right, you
Chris.
have a good day.
You
And
too.
congratulations to your son. That's great.
I want to know why. That's a good explanation from his son.
Yes.
But Jack said people just didn't know about it, right?
But I guarantee you,
And there are people that did not know
the
about
general election, he will research before he
it. I'm
goes in
sure.
there.
Well,
He
he's
learned.
been to vote now.
Yes, he's been to
It's
vote.
a learning experience. Now it's time to do your research.
My daughter was texting me from Pender County going, like, who did I vote for? and so I schooled her because her race was like ours. So very, very small. But
Well, let's go to Pender County. Let's see what the total number of votes there were.
well,
This sucks. There were 53,000 registered voters. 9,400 of them turned out. 17.83%. They 150% of what we turned out to vote. They turned out to vote.
Mm-hmm.
God,
Well, let's
what is going on with this?
definitely talk about Pender County for a minute. And Chris is not here to talk about it, so I'm going to tell his story. A jury found Pender County Clerk of Court Elizabeth Craver not guilty on all 3 felony counts of obtaining property by
Well,
false
the
pretenses.
verdict is in.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday, and I said, after reading the defense
Mhm.
side of it, I was like, I don't know about this. Of course, I wasn't there in the courtroom and didn't get to hear all the arguments. But
Nope.
from what I read yesterday, I'm like, I'm not so sure that she's going to be found guilty. And I was really surprised because she was found not guilty on all 3 charges. But she was running for re-election. And guess what? She got beat out by Camille Harrell, who was the interim clerk of court for Pender County, filling in while Elizabeth was on leave.
Incapacitated.
Administrative leave, but she won with 57.7% of the votes, while Elizabeth Craver received 42.3.
Well,
I'm
it's
like,
like the guy up in
whoa.
whatever county it was. He
Mhm.
had been arrested. He's got a court date coming up, and he ran into a school bus. According to the charges, the trooper
He lost.
ran into a school bus and then drove away, and then gave himself up the next day. Well,
Yes.
I'm sorry. The voters didn't buy that.
Well, why did he not? Yeah, well, we can figure, we can read between the lines why he waited till the next day. Mhm.
Oh, he didn't figure to go away. He just figured the evidence would.
Yeah.
Henderson County. I just grabbed one out of here.
Right.
There are 90,691 registered voters. 22,000 of them voted. They had more people voting with fewer voters than we did. We had 14,000 to turn out. They had 22,000 to turn out. 22,000. They only had 90,000 voters. We had 129,000.
Right.
Well, our turnout was 11.44%. Theirs was 24.27%. Almost 1 in 4 turned out to vote in a primary. That's
Rayford,
pretty decent.
Carteret County had 29.06% turnout to our 11.44.
I'm just like, well,
Carteret.
Carteret County also had the sheriff of Carteret County running. Not for sheriff, but he's well known.
District 1, but we had District 3 running too. So.
Yeah, but we didn't. District 3 was Greg Murphy.
Yeah, no, we had the Democratic side of that.
Oh, yeah.
So that was important too. Craven County had
Who did they have?
18.63 at Steve. Craven County had 18.63%.
Steve, did you vote, Steve?
I did not.
You did not. Now that's what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for somebody. I'm not to badger you. I just want to know why.
No, that's okay. I don't mind at all, and I understand your concern. For me, there was no one candidate that was on the ticket that really compelled me. And the reason is because I'm independent, and in the general election, I can vote a split ticket. But in the primary, I don't have that option. I've got to go all one or the other.
Yeah.
And so that might turn a lot of independents away because there's both Republicans and Democrats I want to see get in office, depending on the office you're talking about. And I don't get that option in the primary.
Uh-huh.
So when I do a primary, like I did vote in the last primary, I voted for Nikki Haley, and that was the reason I voted in that primary was because of the presidential race and the who was going to be the Republican nominee. Now in the general election, I will tell you, I voted for a Democrat. So we also have that freedom as an independent that other people don't.
That's right.
Maybe that's the reason why the turnout was low.
Some independents. Well, yeah, but that should have been the case kind of like across the board. Oslo County is very distinctive here so far, 11%, and everything else I'm coming up with is 17 or higher. That's what bugs me about this whole thing. Why is Oslo County so much of an anomaly?
Beaufort County, 32.55%.
You know, I understand some of the small rural counties, they got a lot at stake by going out to vote, and they will vote.
My question isn't the independents the majority in Oslo County?
Yeah, they are in other counties too.
Okay. I was going to say that's the thing that kind of stuck out to me is that, you know, like I say, we're restricted as the, you know, in the primaries more than we are in the general.
I want to make a note of that. If we can get enough people to call in, if they're independents, like will call in and say they did not vote and here's why, then you know that may be the reason that we've got here. Either way,
if I could have voted a split ticket in the primary like I do in the general.
Yeah, you can't do that. I tried to do that because I wanted both. I requested both ballots again, and the lady looked at me like I had, you know, 3 heads. But whatever. But you know, if it's kind of like across the, if a lot of counties or a lot of people are like that in Oslo County, say I didn't vote because I'm an independent and I just didn't have anybody that I could vote for. Well, you did one, even if it's just one or the other. Now, some independents, and I've heard them say it, I have never done this. Seriously, I have not, and I don't necessarily recommend it. That's not the reason you generally vote. It's not a game here that you're playing. But some independents will say, you know, I don't know which ballot to pick. So let's just say I pick the Democrat ballot, and I really want this Republican over here to win against any of the Democrats that are running in November. But I'm going to pick the Democrat ballot, and I'm going to vote for the one with the most, that is most likely to win, and I'm going to vote against that person on the Democrat ticket. I'm going to vote for somebody else. In other words, what he would perceive to be a weaker candidate. That is a methodology that some people will use, so I've been told. Now, and then the same thing if it's on the reverse on the Republican side. But you know, you vote against the people that you really think are too powerful, and they might be running against your candidate in November. So let me help to see if I can't knock them out now. So I don't know.
Well,
there's one thought process.
Honestly, to me, that's a fool's logic.
It is a fool's logic.
If you lose, you lose twice.
Yes.
You know, you lose double. To me, I want to see the best candidate on both sides, so that no matter which one wins, we stand a fighting chance.
Yeah. Now,
as a country.
Yeah. Now, if you're and let's just say in your case, or if it was my case, I'd be looking at it the same way. I'm sure. I obviously cannot find everybody on one side or the other, on either party, on either ticket that I would like. I can't find somebody in every race that I would like. Okay. So particularly those with, like, you can vote for 3 here, vote for 3 here, yada, yada, yada. I may not vote for all 3. I just vote for the ones that I like, or ones that I like, right? Those are the ones that I'm interested. But I can find in picking a ticket, picking a ballot, if I'm going to pick one, the one that I can find the most number of people to vote for, that's the one that I'm going to pick. I'm not going to just not vote. But that's your philosophy, and that's okay.
Right. Well, and it presents an extra hurdle. Like if there's a Democrat person running in a primary that I really want to vote for, and there's also a Republican running in a primary I want to vote for, then I have to choose which one of those two that I'm going to side with now.
You're going to have
I can't vote for both of them, you know, and that's, you know, for me, that's problematic. You know, even if I'm going to vote for the Republican, if the Republican don't win, I want the best Democrat to be the one that does. You know, who I feel is going to be the best Democrat candidate. I feel like everybody should have a little bit of say-so in who, the candidate is on the opposite side. But like you say, some people will just vote for the worst one to try and make their candidate, more favorable. And that's, I get that. To me, that's un-American. I just don't, I don't see how anybody could do that, but I know they do. There's a lot of things in this world that people do that I can't wrap my head around.
May not be described as American, but it's definitely described as politics, and we know about politics. They're not necessarily always all American or all anything else. There is this political world out there, and it's sometimes it gets kind of dirty.
Yeah. Anytime somebody puts politics above patriotism, it gives me a sick feeling in my stomach. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but it seems like it's as wrong as cussing in church.
It is.
But anyway, that's kind of how I feel about that. On a different note,
okay.
Have you happened to had a chance to hear Tom Tillis's interactions with Christy Noem?
Got there yet.
I have not. No.
Ooh, it was bad.
He was about to bust a blood vessel. He was turning red in the face, and he pretty much hollered at her for the entire time. She tried to speak. He said he didn't want to hear what she had to say. He was giving her a job evaluation, and that she needed to resign.
Okay. Why was he having a conversation? I know nothing about it. Sorry.
She was up before the committee.
She came in for a Senate hearing.
Oh, okay. So she came in for a Senate hearing, and he was asking her questions?
No, he wasn't asking her questions, man. He was just, you have to see it. I've described it, as much as I can without you watching it.
Yeah.
He just bashes on her for his entire time.
Well, let me go a little bit more now. What was the purpose of the oversight hearing?
It is a standard. They're the oversight committee, and it's a standard hearing that they go to periodically. It
was like a
normal procedure.
Job evaluation.
Yeah, it's not a special hearing. It's something that all of them do, and it's scheduled.
Okay, so they're there to find out from the individual what's going on with them, or do they have other people they bring in to talk about that particular?
No. What it is all secretaries have to go before Senate Oversight Committee.
Okay. I'm trying to narrow this down for the folks out there who do not have a clue what this is all about. It's an oversight hearing. It's a regularly, I don't know whether it's scheduled, but it's a regular. It happens on a regular basis, and then the various folks like Christy Noem will come in, and then they will. How do they get information from this person? Do they tell them what they think, or do they ask them questions?
They can. It's like any other Senate hearing. They can either ask questions or they can make a statement the whole time, or they can,
and that's the problem that I have with all of those hearings. Whether it's oversight or whether it's bombarding. If you want to get information from the person and then reserve judgment, then you would ask questions of this individual or other witnesses. It's kind of like, if you can't get it by a judge in a courtroom by getting up there and testifying as a prosecutor or a defense attorney, then there's something, you can't get it past the judge. He's not going to let you do it. Ask your question. Get the information from the individual. That's what it's all about, right?
Okay. Once again, go watch it. And before you form your opinion.
I understand.
Let me say why. Because the reoccurring theme amongst Democrats and Republicans yesterday was the non-responsiveness of the Department of Homeland Security, where they had requested information and they're ignored. That was kind of the general statement of all of them, is that they are asking for information and they're being ignored. So, really, go look at it if you get a chance.
I will. What kind of information were they asking for?
There's a lot to it, man. If you want to know, the one that stuck out to me the most is Senator Kennedy, the Republican from Kentucky, I think it is, or Louisiana. Louisiana, yeah. He asked her about some money they had spent. He was very nice to her, but he was asking her questions. One was they spent $220 million on the ad campaign for those commercials that they put in the airports and all that stuff. And he said that the amount concerned him, but it also concerned him that the two media companies they used, one of them had only started 11 days before she awarded the contract to him, and the second one was owned by the husband of her campaign spokesman. And she was kind of like a deer in the headlights. And she said that Donald Trump approved
the $220 million to be spent on the commercials.
Well, he approves everything, but or doesn't approve it, one or the other. But that's
Right.
beside the point. So she could not. She did answer that these are the people, but she did not answer why. Did Kennedy ask her why she picked these individuals, or was it up to her? I don't know. Was it up to her?
She said it was up to her. She
Okay.
stated that any contract over $5 million, she has to sign off on personally.
Okay. So who
And,
recommended it
that's
to
what she
her?
made.
Do you know?
She didn't say, and she just tried to play like she didn't know that none of that stuff, that all that was news to her, that it was, the husband of her campaign spokesman.
Okay.
Anyway, then Cory Booker asked her about a warehouse that the Department of Homeland Security had bought in New Jersey that was valued at $63 million, but she paid $130 million for it.
Okay.
She knew about the warehouse. She didn't know she paid $130 million for it, double the value.
Yeah.
So that was the kind of things they were asking her. They were legitimate questions. Republicans were asking her, Democrats were asking her, and they all seemed to.
Do you know who owned that
serious
building?
concerns.
Do you know the connection that
They did not
who they
bring
bought it
that.
from?
That was my question as well.
See, these are the
Exactly.
kinds of questions that I would be asking, and not
Right.
making allegations first. I mean, my
Yeah, but they
allegations
didn't-
would
they
come in the
didn't-
form of questions, baby. But
They didn't make any allegations about why she paid double. They just asked her, why did you pay double the value of this? And she
no.
couldn't answer it.
I,
And they also said they had requested information about that, and it had not come. They had not provided it.
Hmm.
And so that was kind of a lot of the questions they asked. They had all said that, hey, we have asked, the Department of Homeland Security about this, and we have got no response back.
it probably doesn't have it doesn't meet their protocol. But you know what? I'm not a protocol person, but I would be saying, you know what? You're not able at this point in time, is known, to answer these questions. You have not responded to our requests, and Democrats, Republicans, whoever, you have not responded to our request for information about this warehouse or this or that or whatever. You have not. So why don't you take the next 5 days off and you come back 5 days from now and you have this information with us? Can you do that?
Well, that's why I say you should see Tom Tillis, because the final part of his statement was him beating his hand on the desk, saying that he was going to block
He was
all
off the
nominations, and
Well,
he was going to block everything from them until he got a response from the Department of Homeland Security for his request for information.
well,
He was adamant about it.
It was
So-
ridiculous.
And I ain't saying that y'all have to agree with Tom Tillis because he's your friend,
no, I don't have to agree with him.
but I feel like you listen to my opinion more than you pursue his sometimes, and that, puzzles me. Let's say
I listen to your opinion.
that you listen to mine more than you pursue his sometimes. So that puzzles me, that I know about what Tom Tillis says.
I have not listened to him. I have not listened to. I don't.
I
If I had to sit there in front of the TV and spend my time in front of the TV with all of the individuals that I know who are in Congress or know of who are in Congress or wherever, I'd never get anything done like geezer naps.
Well, honestly, that's a
important to
very
me.
good. Thank you for that. That's a very good point. I had not taken that consideration. I just thought about the two or three that I hear you talk to. I hadn't thought about beyond that. So
Yeah.
that's on me. You're right. I get that.
I cannot sit there and watch all of those things on TV, nor am I going to watch all the court cases or the
Right.
police chases or anything else. I'd rather watch Comedy Central.
Right. Well, I was going to say, my opinion is this one particular one is worth watching.
Well,
If
you're
find the
bringing
time to
it up,
watch
and you can rest
That's
assured I will likely take a look-see at it now that it's come
Right,
up. But
right.
just as far as me trolling these
We're doing
individuals,
it,
nah.
right.
I don't have any friends up there that good that I would watch all their stuff. To be honest,
I don't necessarily pursue Tom Tillis and what he says,
Mhm.
but on my YouTube feed, there was a picture of him screaming and his eyes bulging out and his face was red. And that made me click on it to see what was going on. Cause he was clearly in the screenshot was about to blow a blood vessel. And when I went back and watched it, then
Okay.
yeah, he was mighty upset over the situation.
Well, I got a big old 65-inch TV set I can watch all that stuff on when I want to.
I got it.
And I got about 8,000
But,
channels on it.
Yeah.
So,
But anyway, that was kind of what I had in my basket this morning.
All right. well, you should
Any questions?
feel privileged that I would rather listen to you than to listen to that.
I do, and I don't feel worthy, and that's what puzzles me about it.
Well, you are worthy. I'm going to tell you right now, you're a grassroots individual. And you know what I think about grassroots? That's the most important part of the, if you don't got good grassroots going, the rest of it doesn't count. You're a gardener. You know that.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
So
I'll agree with that.
that's what I like. And I like our local stuff.
I got you.
Sometimes it irritates the crap out of me, the individuals out there who think they know everything that they don't know. They don't even know what they don't know, and they keep spouting it off. But that's beside the point. It's their privilege. It's my privilege to ignore them.
Hey, did Lee share the pretty pictures I sent this morning?
Not yet.
Not with me, She doesn't share anything with me.
You don't give me time.
She ignores me as much as she can.
You won't even let me talk.
What? I don't know what she's talking about.
I mean, I have information about the hearing. You muted. Stop muting me. You put the hand up, so I just stopped talking.
Put my hand up.
You did.
I don't have to go to the bathroom.
There was all kinds of photographers out there this morning taking pictures of the
Oh my
sunrise.
God, it was beautiful.
Yeah,
I'll
really
show
pretty.
them to Rayford. Yes.
All right, well, I'm gonna get off here.
Thank you,
take
Steve.
the dog for a walk. Y'all have a blessed day.
All right.
You too.
Have a good walk. Bye.
All right. Just to let
Well,
you
show
know.
me a picture of his.
Well, I just want to tell you first, I want to tell you that this whole thing with Kristi Noem yesterday, the Senate is deadlocked right now on giving DHS any more funding.
Yes.
So they had a long-awaited hearing yesterday because the agency has come under scrutiny in recent months for its hardliner immigration enforcement effort, and that's why they had her in there. Now, I will tell you,
I thought this was a regularly scheduled thing.
This was a come in and let's talk about what your department's doing,
Okay.
And so it was hours long. It got into a heated debate. You know how we talk about all these committee hearings, how everybody yells at each other and they call them kid names. They act like a bunch of imbeciles and they act like 5-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as much as I have been a Tom Tillis fan in the past, he went off the rails yesterday. And he's screaming and yelling at her and saying, oh, the 1,000 arrests that you're making daily is just solely to put numbers on the books. These aren't really illegal. And he just went, I'm like, what in the world? Because I went back and watched it.
They are arresting non-illegal immigrants.
That's what he's accusing DHS of, just to get the numbers up. And then he went as far as to yell at her and bring up, remember the story about her shooting her dog?
Yeah.
Yeah, he even brought that up. And I'm like, why are you bringing that up? What has that got to do with DHS and the fact that the Senate can't agree on funding? What has that got? That was, to me, sorry about it. I just don't think that was necessary. If you're going to have a discussion, have an adult discussion. But, the Senate is mad because they think that Kristi Noem and DHS is expecting them just to rubber stamp her record-breaking budget in the meantime. And so you have the Democratic side versus the Republican side, and the Democratic side is accusing her of all this stuff.
I don't blame him or anybody else for wanting to hold anybody accountable for where my money is going. Okay.
Yeah, I understand.
There are 3 letters. What is my ROI? I want to know my return on investment. That's all that I really care about in the beginning. But then, okay, so you are giving me 1,000 arrests a day and it's costing more than you have in your budget. Okay, I'm willing to pay more. I'm willing to budget more if you're taking out more than 1,000 illegal aliens every day. If you want to can you do it with can you give me $1,200 a day?
Mm-hmm.
How about 2,000 a day? We need to get. How long is it going to take to get to 18 million illegals in this country at 1,000 a day? A long time. How many thousands are there in 1 million?
Right.
1,000 of them. So it would take 1,000 days at 1,000 a day to get rid of 1 million illegal aliens. 18 million? How long will it take? Do the math on that. 18 times that. We won't live that long. None of this country won't be alive that long. by the time they get rid of just the ones we have here now. So 1,000 a day is not enough. 40,000 a day, 50,000 a day, we might make some headway as long as we don't have any more coming in.
Mm-hmm.
But the sheer numbers, and that is one of the things that at the previous situations, I don't want to call it administrations because it wasn't one, it's all of the above. That's one of the things they failed to take into consideration, that one day we may want to not only stop the incoming, but to cut it off and send them back. They're not benefiting us like you thought they were going to be. Their cost to us, is it higher than it should be? Yeah, it is. Are they providing more to this country than is costing this country?
Yeah.
In overall, if they're not, then get out.
I'm telling you right now, those
away.
committee hearings are a waste of time.
Well, I don't know that. I just don't. I don't want to see the continued, whether it's coming from Democrats, Republicans, or something in between.
Either side, both sides.
I don't like to see the old British Parliament days of screaming and throwing chairs and making wild
It's all
allegations or
contest.
accusations, whether it's coming from Tom Tillis.
He's gone off the rails
I've
lately.
labeled him a friend in the past because we
Right.
were friendly. Friendly. We weren't
Same.
close friends. I never got a Christmas card from him, nor did I
I
ever
always
send him
voted
one.
for him. I worked his
I never
campaign
knew.
sometimes.
I don't even know his birthday. Don't care.
Respected
He
the
doesn't
man.
know mine. He doesn't care.
Well, the committed hearings are just a contest to see who's got the biggest, you know what, because it is nothing but, oh my gosh, it's a waste of our time. It's
Now-
a waste of the country's money. Go do something.
If Tillis or anyone else, a Republican or Democrat, is using a secretary or a department, Homeland
Mhm.
Security, the FBI, or whatever, if they're using that in an effort to get to Trump, to bash Trump politically, I don't know why, because he's in power and he's going to be out of power in 3 years. I just don't know what the purpose of continuing to go after him
well,
is.
you know,
You're not going to impeach him. You've tried it. It didn't work.
Tillis is mad at Trump.
It's okay.
And all that
Tillis is mad
started,
at Trump. Yeah.
and from the moment that started, Tillis has gone anti-Trump, anti-Republican, anti-everything.
It's fine. That's his privilege. That's his
That's
right to
right.
do. Go for it. But if your intent is to use a secretary, and I don't know that to be the case, Kristi Noem may be absolutely the worst business manager out there. I don't know. Ask the questions. You're not Matlock. None of you. Ask the questions. You can't get away with badgering the witnesses. Ask the questions. If you don't get the answers, then you send them away and you require them. I'm issuing a subpoena for you to be back here in 5 days with the answers to my questions.
The whole thing yesterday with Kristi Noem was just purely political. It was the
I know,
two party sides fighting
if
each
she's
other.
not providing what you're asking for, then hold her feet to the fire. Screaming and hollering and carrying on doesn't do it. And
They're
I don't know
trying
anything
to.
else.
They're trying to keep from giving more money and funding DHS. The Democrats are. That's what it's all about.
Then let's just say that or get on with the program or whatever. Why are they doing that?
But they
because they're
don't-
tired of getting illegals kicked out of the country?
Yes. I mean, they even accused her of like, are you planning on putting ice out there at the voting polls?
Yes,
You know?
if they come out and vote, then
And,
I'll be able to arrest them for illegal voting plus being here illegally. Not a problem.
Right. And
Where do you go find drug dealers?
so she shot right back at him and said, we have no plans to have ICE officers at our
But it's a
polling
good idea.
location.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then one of the Democrats said, well, you know, I'm glad to hear it, but would you rule it out? Would you say it would not happen? And
No.
she says, do you plan on illegal aliens voting in our elections? I mean,
So that is a typical response. Would I rule it out? And the answer would be, I don't answer a question with a question. So I would say, no, I don't rule it out.
these
What?
committee
I don't
hearings are
rule it out. No,
ridiculous.
I don't.
It's the same thing if the Republicans are grilling a Democrat sitting at that desk. They all act ridiculous. They are ridiculous. Grow
But
up.
in her case, and I've never been a big fan of hers.
Mhm.
I like what is happening, but it's not all because of her. It's not that she's, again, like the sharpest knife in the drawer. I can tell you that. But and she doesn't have the background, the experience, or anything else to do this kind of a job, in my personal opinion.
In your
But
personal
in
opinion,
my
that's
personal
right.
opinion, who am I to make that a call? I don't
That's
know.
right.
Just let's just get on with the program. And yeah, where would you go to arrest bad people for dealing drugs? Would you go to a drug corner to do that?
Well, that's one
In front
choice.
of 10th and Dawson in Wilmington, which used to be a great drug corner. I know that for a fact because I bought dope
Be
there.
sitting in a tree.
I swear I would go to arrest drug dealers.
Mm-hmm.
If I was looking for people voting illegally, where would I go? I'd go to the polls and wait for them and know who they are and gotcha. If they vote
Well,
and they did it illegally, then I got you.
but think about it,
Gotcha,
though.
twofer.
You would have to stop every single person going into the polls.
No,
Well,
no,
not
no,
every
no, no,
single.
no.
And you would have to ask for their ID. You would have to pull
Well,
this.
their ID is
just
there.
crazy.
They got their ID.
Well, then how do you know they're illegals?
If they've got ID and they show up there and then you look at that ID and then you punch it in and say, okay, this was given by Mr. Governor of California. He's got a driver's license.
But there's that would be just about.
They've got the cross references.
Oh yeah, they do,
can
but they're not
that.
going to stand out in the polls and grill
They're
everybody.
not going to. This is impractical questioning. but-
Yes,
and
I
it was a stupid
understand.
question on their part all the way around.
I understand.
But there are ways to track this kind of stuff if you want to do it, and they don't have to arrest them
Right,
at the
right.
polls. They can arrest them.
It's
later
just
on.
like these hearings, these committee hearings. That's like you want to hear somebody combative. Put Pam Bondi in front of a committee hearing.
Another.
It is so combative, and she's extremely combative. I can't watch her. I can't watch her.
Why do you want to watch arguments? If you want to get answers, you can't get them by arguing. You
Well-
can ask the questions, ask and answered, or ask and not answered. And Your Honor, let's send her home and tell her
Right.
to come back in 5
Well,
days with the answers.
The big thing is that at least they're offering you the chance to watch these hearings live, which I appreciate. I learn a lot from it, but then I walk away from a lot of them because I'm not going to sit there and watch them all act like school age
Not gonna do
kids.
it. This-
I'm done.
What's the result? What's the return on the investment of my time to sit there and watch this?
Well, what was the return on the investment of the time they took yesterday to grill Christy Nome?
Well, that's what I'm
Did they
saying.
make any decisions? Are they going to vote to give DHS money? Are they not going to vote? No, we weren't in a vote yesterday. We're just in a hearing. Bashing Christy Nome. The Democrats were bashing her. The Republicans were praising her. It's all political. Stupid, stupid, stupid. What kind of job is she really doing?
I don't know.
I don't know either. 'Cause everybody wants to argue.
As long as I know that there's a bunch of illegals leaving the country on a regular basis,
Amen.
and there should be at least 10 times that many leaving every day.
Amen.
Every day.
I agree.
Because with 18 million in this country illegally, you literally do the math at 1,000 a day. 1,000 days would only be 1,000,000.
Right.
That's 3 years. Take 3 years of kicking 1,000,000 out a day to get rid of.
Well,
I mean,
Tell
1,000 a
us,
day to get rid of 1,000,000.
even went as far yesterday to call for her resignation as DHS head.
You can call for anything. You can call for,
He's, I've always been a supporter of Tom Tittle's. Ever since him and Trump had his falling out, boy, he's just got.
he's
Woo!
just bitter.
Yes, yes.
He's so bitter because he also saw the handwriting on the wall that Roy Cooper was going to beat him in the election.
Oh, I don't think that would have happened.
I think it would have happened.
I don't think so. I do not think
With the
so.
way that Trump has been acting of late,
Well, I don't
there's
think.
been a whole lot of non-Republicans,
I don't think
independents.
Cooper would have even entered the race if he knew that
Cooper's
Tillis
been running
was
for that
still running.
position before Trump.
No, it was said
Tillis
that he
ever
was
said
running
that.
for VP.
Yeah, well, that
Remember,
doesn't-
VP?
You don't run for VP. You're selected.
Well,
to be a
no.
running mate.
Well, but you've got to work. You've got to work the room. You've got to raise the money. They're not even going to look at you if you're not already doing that.
He wanted to be. He
Mm-mm.
wants to be. He wanted to be senator. And he was
Mm-mm.
going to run against Tillis. He
Mm-mm.
figured Tillis
I don't agree.
had worked his way out. So,
Just a real quick, and I'm going to get all the numbers tonight because I couldn't get them all right now. But out of the 3rd district, the counties in the 3rd district, looks like Onslow was the lowest voter turnout in the district.
lowest voter turnout in the state, pretty close to it,
Yeah,
percentage wise.
I want to get the numbers for each county because we're looking at them like Wayne County, 2149, Sampson, 2481, Duplin County, 2193 to 11.
Alamance County, 21.81.
It's just ridiculous.
Where you want to go? Alexander County. We're in the Sam Hills, Alexander at 22.6%.
Over yonder.
Oh, everything's over yonder.
Hey,
Allegheny County, the hills, right? 25% turnout. Anson County, I don't know where that is either. It's 21.20%. All these places are doubling us. We're coming close to doubling us. Ash
horrible.
County.
it's horrible.
Ash freaking County, 29.95%.
It's horrible.
Folks,
Got to do better.
we suck.
Have to do better.
We absolutely suck.
What's
And
it gonna
I don't
take?
believe it's going to be because we have a high independent bunch of voters.
No, that doesn't make any difference whatsoever. And as soon as they break it down by party, I'll have that too.
31% in Bertie County. Bertie County.
Bertie County.
Bertie
Look at
County.
Chewan. Chewan had, how much did Chewan
Bladen
have?
County. Oh, but Bladen County's been 27.5%. They've been racked up with
What did I do with
election scruple problems.
Look at Jones County.
What, 100%?
2591 in Jones.
Buncombe
Pamlico, 24.
County up there in the hills. They could even get there from the hills. They got one leg shorter than the other. 25%.
You're terrible.
What?
Well,
Because they weren't walking the side of the hills.
I think the biggest interest right now is going to see what's going to happen between Phil Berger and Sam Page. That 2-vote difference. But of course, they need to count
What
the
does that mean for
provisional.
me?
Oh, well, because right now, Phil Berger is the
Phil Berger is, but
big guy
does-
in the Senate.
doesn't
and-
mean the Sam Page has got anything going.
no,
through
but
there.
what I'm saying is if Phil Berger loses,
Yeah.
you lose his power. Who's going to be the next up there in power? Can we nominate who we want?
No?
I want Michael Lazara.
Okay.
I want Michael Lazara.
Well, that would be good. We'll start a campaign for him.
Okay, I've just gotten word, and I wanted to make sure that I had this right.
You were wrong.
But no, I was right.
Finally?
Yesterday, Michael Lazara had posted a news release, and let me see if I had it right here before I went. Yeah. Well, let me go to his page. Anyway,
We're going to go into that a bit more tomorrow too.
yeah, but
because
real quick, I'll
about
tell you what
property
it
taxes is what we're going to
Yes.
talk about.
Blah, 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 blah. He said, I've heard from so many homeowners across our district who are concerned about property tax reevaluations and what they could mean. After receiving numerous calls and messages, I want you to know we are taking these concerns seriously. During the upcoming short session, the legislation will be filed to halt all property tax reevaluation changes for the next 12 months. This temporary moratorium will give the North Carolina General Assembly the time needed to carefully examine potential reforms and ensure homeowners who are hit with sudden significant increases. And this does cover the property evaluation we just had.
So it would just throw that to the curb there.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
So it's out.
It's got to go into legislation to be passed
Yeah.
because the state law is the one that deals with the property evaluation, not your county commissioners.
Understand.
Right. For those listening, because I saw where one of the county commissioners had put out a thank you this morning and somebody went after him very nasty. But anyway, county commissioner meeting this morning at 11 o'clock. I would advise everybody to watch it. It might be
I
interesting.
think you got to go. Everybody line up the streets, the street.
Well, I may
Charter
go.
a bus.
If not, I'll be watching.
Charter a bus. Get out there and just
I'm not taking no charter buses
your-
running off the road hitting Amazon trucks.
What?
Nope.
What?
That one they had on I-95 the other
Mhm.
day, that big wreck they had. But anyway, tomorrow we have a special guest in the studio, Carol Town.
Yep.
She's a master gardener.
Talking about
And
where to bury the bodies, right?
She's going to tell us how to get rid of the daffodils.
Why do you want to get rid of daffodils? What did they ever do to you?
Not the daffodils. No, what?
Dandelions.
Dandelions. Besides eating them, no, the daffodils we're going to keep.
Let's see, dandelions. Can't you put those in your garden too and makes bugs go away?
I don't know. She's going to talk
Well, we're
about
gonna
it.
find
but I
out
know
about
you
it.
can eat them. People eat them. I'm not
They go in
interested in
salads.
eating
Yeah,
them.
a lot of people have them in salads.
So
Good.
they
If
do
you've
the
never
purple dead
tried it.
needle too.
No, they don't.
That's what they said. They
Okay.
have medicinal purposes. I'm
No,
like, yeah,
no.
whatever.
Well, so do
They've been mowed.
So do some of those mushrooms out there too, but not the kind of medicine you want.
Oh.
Okay, we will see you tomorrow in here, and
Here, run in the greenhouse.
I'm going to try to get somebody in to talk about the suicides situation. We're
Right.
kind of out of control in Onslow County.
Yes.
There were 23 last year.
Oh
that the
my
sheriff's
gosh, it's
office
so
responded
sad.
to.
Yes.
That sheriff's office alone responded to. In 2025, that was 2024. In
Mhm.
2025, it was 28.
Yeah.
EMS went to in 2025 76 attempts.
Wow. That's a lot of people. 76 attempts.
76 attempts, 28 deaths.
Because see, you don't hear about those.
No.
Sad.
That's when you're getting to be more than 2 a month. We'll be talking about that, and see if we can get
Right.
somebody in here who deals with that
Yes.
problem, because it is an issue. And we also see on so many programs on TV where
Mhm.
anytime they even mention suicide, there's a disclaimer at the bottom and a telephone number for folks to call. I think that's good, but it's obviously not enough. There's got to be something else. Okay.
Well, we have some breaking news real quick. A U.S. Navy submarine torpedoed and sank the Iranian Navy frigate, okay, Iris Dana off the coast of Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka, yeah.
All right. This is the first time a U.S. submarine has sunk an enemy warship since World War II.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, buddy. Do you know which
Eating
submarine?
up.
Do you know which submarine it was? Does it say?
It did not say, well, it said Iranian.
No, ours.
Oh, ours. Okay.
I don't care about
yes.
theirs.
All right. Let me see if I click on it, if it goes further into it. It did not say in the story. I'm sure we can find
We're
it.
not telling people everything that we have,
That's
our
right.
resources,
Yeah,
especially
tell
the
'em.
undersea resources.
We don't tell 'em.
So I was kind of
Mhm.
curious. Okay. I could do a little tracking today just for my own curiosity. We will see you tomorrow morning beginning at 7 o'clock, bright and
Yes,
early.
we will
Get
be.
your butts out of bed because we will be primed and ready.
That's right.
Ready to fight.
I want to hear what the commissioners
I'm gonna
have
be-
to say today
I'm going to be just like
about
Tom
tax rate.
Tillis and Christy Numi. I'm going to fight.
Well, you can be Tom and I'll be Christy.
I'm going to fight. I can fight you.
Throw stuff at you.
Don't
Okay.
stuff at me. I'll throw it right back.
All right.
Have a great rest of your
Thank
day.
you.
If you're going on the water, it's going to be pretty, but
Beautiful.
be sure you pay attention to the weather when you're out there, when you're
Right.
on your way, yada, yada, yada. It should be nice, but be prepared to have some navigation gear just in case
Yes.
the fog banks come out again,
Mhm.
particularly later in the afternoon.
Yes.
Have a great day. See you in the morning.
Bye.
Goodbye.